Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? Got 3 locks for you. If you want to get the locks, get the picks. Very interesting day yesterday. Both locks won. So I'm 2-0 in the locks so far. I have to say, I've seen some bad coaching, but I've never seen as bad at coaching as I saw in the games I was watching. God knows about the other games. And first, we're going to start with USC. Oh my God, that defensive coordinator needs to be. He just got there. He's an idiot. They're running this big running back. They ran him like 10 times in a row, and he just sat there. He didn't blitz him. He didn't put big guys on him. I don't know what he was doing. You got a quarterback at Michigan who can't throw the ball. What kind of defense were you running? So I'm very disappointed in the USC defensive coordinator just for having a brain in his head. Lincoln Riley, I thought, was way out coached. He got lucky in the second half, but he wasted the whole first half. I love these 3rd and 1. I'm going to run it into the line, and the guy loses 2 yards because my guys can't block, and I'm not smart enough to run a play action pass. Oh my God! Do they not watch football? These guys. So there's that, and then there's the first lock was Colorado or Baylor plus 8.5. We won it, but you gotta be kidding with that. The way that game went. Just a second, I gotta get my coffee. So Baylor's winning, so I had that game pegged, and I won. But at the end of the game, I never seen anything as stupid in my life. So Colorado has the ball, I don't know, 50-yard line, 5 seconds left, last play of the game. And I saw a defense that I wouldn't have a child run. It looked like a child design. You have 3 defensive linemen on the left side. So, of course, the quarterback runs right. You have 3 guys in the end zone picking their nose, doing absolutely nothing, just standing there, right? So before the play, you got 3 guys standing in the end zone, which is the stupidest thing in the world. Then you have guys all out. Then you got guys guarding the guys right on them, which is, again, the stupidest thing in the world. If you're going to guard them, then hit them. Get them off tempo. Secondly, I would have blitzed. Why have 3 guys on one side and then the quarterback runs the other way? What were you thinking there, or do you not understand anything? Are you actually a football coach? Do you not understand football? That's what it looked like. Then you got Prime Junior rolls to the left. One guy almost gets him as he's throwing. But when he throws it, the receiver's wide open. Now, let me understand this. If the quarterback is rolling this way, and I got 3 guys in the end zone, why aren't they rolling this way? the guy guarding him, what is he doing? So they let him get into the end zone. There's no time left, right? So first they let him get into the end zone. Then the guy falls down. The other idiot, who's the three guys in the end zone, doesn't react to the play until the end. Why weren't you standing at the goal line? Why are they in the end zone? And then what are they doing in the end zone? They're obviously not covering anybody. If they get in the end zone, it's a touchdown. So they should be at about the 5-yard line, and they should be, whoever comes there, they should be covering. If you have, why do you have three guys standing there? That's never going to work. And then they don't react to the thing. Hey, Prophet. Real D, hello. I'm going over that Colorado Baylor game. Now, our lock was Baylor plus 8.5, 8. We win it. But that ending, this coach is as stupid as the Miami of Florida coach. They're on par with the stupidest coaches in the history of life. So your defense has three guys in the end zone at, left, right, and center. But when the quarterback rolls, why aren't they all rolling? And why are they sitting in the end zone? Then if you watch the play, the defender guarding the receiver falls down. The guy who's in the end zone doesn't get over in time. It was a simple pitch and catch. What are you doing? What are you thinking here? Is there a thought in the mind? Do you understand football? So you let a guy run 50 yards. He was guarded a little bit. You have only one guy on him. The other guys in the end zone don't do their jobs because they don't understand. They're not coached well. As Vince Lombardi said, you win the games on Tuesday. You get ready for the games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not on Saturday. So the guy doesn't know to get over to guard him. You have single coverage on the guy instead of double teaming him and knocking him out of bounds or something. Why not just tackle him and get the interference if you're beat like that? But why did you get beat? There's only one play. There's no time. He's got to get in the end zone. So where are the three idiots who started the play in the end zone? Where are they? Why didn't they move? The quarterback's to the right. Why aren't they all to the right? Incredibly bad coaching. I think the game was fixed because there's no explanation for this. You have three guys line up on the left and the quarterback rolls the other way. Like, why didn't you just play your normal defense? Why didn't you blitz the guy and not give him a chance to have time to throw the ball 50 yards? You blitz 5, 6 guys. You might as well. You got three guys in the end zone picking their nose. You might as well have them blitzing. It would have done better to have blitzed the quarterback. Anyway, it shows you the Baylor coach has no concept of what he's doing. He has no idea. Or the defensive coordinator should be fired because he has no concept. You don't play the last play like that. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I've watched football since the 60s, okay? Just play, rush 5, 6 guys. Quarterback won't have time, and you sack them. It's not that hard. But you don't. If you got three guys in the end zone, fucking cover somebody. Don't sit there and wait for the ball to be thrown. You see the quarterback's here. You see the guy coming. Read the fucking play. Get over. There's no way that ball should have been caught unless it's a fixed game. Hey, Todd. Rainy morning here. Yeah, it's cloudy here. Yeah, I know Rising didn't play, but we still won. I played it. I had Utah in 7. Well, thank you, Todd. Your lock, North Texas. So I had North Texas, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana. Yeah, I loved Indiana. I loved Army, North Texas. My lock was Baylor getting the 8.5, and with Kansas State under. Kansas State game was crazy because neither team moved the ball. It was fumble, return for touchdowns, and stuff like that. but we did get the win on it. It was under 55 or something like that. Got a little close at the end, but that was my lock. K-State, BYU under with Baylor getting points from Colorado. What happened to USC? Well, they were leading late, and they didn't. They let the guy run down their throats. Michigan had no quarterback, couldn't throw. I bet he didn't have 100 yards throwing. USC played terrible in the first half. They played better in the second half. Why didn't they do that in the first half? I thought Lincoln Riley had a terrible first half game plan. 3rd and 1, I'm going to run right at Michigan. Yeah, when Texas showed you how to beat them. So in the second half, the USC starts throwing the ball, and then they take the lead. At the end of the game, all they do is hand off to the guy. There was no passing. They handed off to the guy, and USC, where was the run blitz? Where is the safety up? You just let the guy run down your throat. You give them they hand it up the middle, and the guy goes for 60 yards because you don't know how to tackle. Your guys don't know how to tackle. So, what can I say? USC, they still can't tackle I guess you can run on them. The point of the play was the USC offense throwing the ball all over Michigan like Texas did. Unfortunately, they only did it in the second half. I don't know what they were doing in the first half. Michigan's quarterback was horrible. Ran a little bit. It was unbelievable that Michigan won. And even at the end, USC's got the lead. So it's just, again, bad coaching. If you know they're going to hand off to the guy in the last series, maybe tackle him, maybe run blitz him. I don't know. The play was correct. The execution by the defensive coordinator should be fired, even though he just came over from UCLA. They didn't play like that at UCLA. You couldn't run on him, so I don't know what he's doing. And then Lincoln Riley didn't show up in the first half. So I don't know what he was doing, but no, should have happened. Small play. I was this close to locking Army and Western, not the Western Kentucky, the Fresno State over. Got there at the end. Then the other games had some good winners yesterday, and then some bad. I'm noticing on the over-unders a lot where I think it was Western Kentucky, Toledo. I missed by like one score. And I'm looking in the box score, and it's like 4 or 5 drives where they go for it on 4th down and don't make it. I mean, this is the new problem in football. These teams go for it on 4th down. They don't make it. They keep going. 4 times one team went for it on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and didn't make it. It's like, kick the fucking field goals. There was one game I lost by 1 point on the total, and 4 times they went on 4th down and didn't make it. I mean, you're insane. These coaches, why do they think it's such a good thing to go on 4th down? I have no idea. We're being aggressive. No, you're being stupid. So there's not a lot I can do but play the game before it happens. I'm not Madoff. I can't play the game after, but it's ridiculous. So good for you, Todd, yesterday. And today, your free play is Cincinnati. Let's go through the lines, and we'll get back to college. So going through the lines. And I bet about 10 games today. Love it. Indy, let's say 1.5, 44 to the Bears. Caleb get 100 yards in offense? Maybe against Indy, they're not the best defense. They're a 23 defense. Cleveland 6.5, 38.5 to the Giants. No change. Oh, well, let me go through the line, then I'll go through the more of the matchups. Tennessee 337.5. So I would say that Jordan Love is not playing, and they've got Malik Willis again. New Orleans 2.5, 49.5. I really don't understand this line, why it's not 3, but it gives us a good chance to take New Orleans plus 3.5. I mean, that's, why I'm not liking that. I have no idea. Pittsburgh 3 and down to 35 against San Diego. First 1 to 7 wins. Houston 2, 46.5 to Minnesota. Not sure why Houston's favored. Tampa Bay 6 and 41 over Denver. Should be a good game. I like the way Tampa's playing. We'll see. The Oakland 5.5, 40 to Carolina. And Andy Dalton plays. I bet he gets hurt, and then here comes Steve Young again. I changed my score with Dalton playing. I think Carolina will score a little bit more, but the way Oakland looked against Baltimore, I definitely like Oakland. Seattle 4, 41.5 against Miami. Tua's out, so I guess it's Skylar Thompson, who looked so good last week. Jesus. Detroit 351.5 again. Why is Detroit favored in this game? Arizona is a much better team. 49ers 6.5, 44.5. I don't know why this line went up from 43.5. You got half the teams out. Deebo Samuel's out. McCaffrey's out. Kittle's out. Cooper Kupp's out. Pukanuka's out. How the fuck are they going to score in this game? Very strange number. Baltimore 1, 47.5 to Dallas. Number hasn't moved. Baltimore 0 and 2 must win. KC 3, 46.5. I got KC -7. I don't get this line. We know how bad Kirk Cousins is. Mahomes, it'll probably be a close game, but we get KC in 3 points. Thank you. Buffalo 5.5, 45.5 to Jacksonville. And then we got our free play, Cincinnati 7.5, 47 against Washington. Backs against the wall. Joe Burrow must win. Chase, look for a huge effort by Cincinnati. They played better against KC, who's the best team. Look for Washington. I got 37-17 Cincinnati. So when you really look at it, it's what's Washington's defense, which is probably the most important factor. It's a 28. They gave up 18 points to the Giants last week. So those are your big reasons for betting Cincinnati. You got a weak defense, backs against the wall, down 0 and 2. Now, let's go through the games a little bit more, and let's go through the injuries. So just judging by the line, we know that this game, BYU wins 38-9, and then I'll get back to it. 38-9, of which I think 3 touchdowns were fumble type of touchdowns. There was no drive. Each quarterback threw for like 100 yards. I mean, it was insanity. All right, I'm going to Yahoo for injuries. It seems to have The covers is not giving you, like, they don't have Puka Nuka out unless they changed it. We can check. Um, all right, let's just look for the big ones. All right. Atlanta, a lot of questionables. Baltimore. Nobody big. Scotty Washington, the tight end's out. Who? Scotty Washington, come on. Buffalo. Matt Milano's on the injured reserve, designated for return with the biceps. That's about it. Carolina, they should put Steve Young on injured list. Put him out for the year with an injury. So it's going to be Andy Dalton, who will make a difference, a big difference, but I still don't think he's going to go to Oakland and beat them, especially after what Oakland did last week. Even if it's close, I think Oakland pulls it out. The Bears, let's see. Keenan Allen out with the heel. These are as of today. Keenan Allen out with the heel. Let's see. Fullback's out. Don't know who he is. That's about it. Let's see the other. Who's the Romo Doozy? Don't see him. Cincinnati. Let's see if T. Higgins. Mike Thomas is questionable. I don't see T. Higgins on the list. They must know that. That's our free play. So T. Higgins looks like he's in, and we know Chase, and we got the running backs, and we got Burrow. So everybody's healthy for Cincy, who we need healthy. Cleveland, tackles out Conklin from Michigan State. Njoku, the tight end's out. Nick Chubb, physically unable to perform regular season, knee ACL, MCL, so he's out for a while. And let's see. Kadanius Toney's questionable from Kansas City. You got trouble. Dallas. Dallas. Michael Gallup has retired. So why is he on the injury list? The guy's retired. Nobody else. Denver. Tackle on the injured reserve, MCL. Another tackle, injured reserve with an ankle. So they're 2 tackles down. These tackles sure get hurt a lot, considering they don't do anything but block. Esteen, the running back from Notre Dame, injured reserve with an ankle. I love how these guys come up, rookies, and they hurt their ankle, and they're all done. Let's see. Bo Nix is not on here, so that's good. Detroit, let's see. Questionables. Kicker's on injured reserve. Oh, good. They'll go for 4th down again. How does the kicker hurt his hamstring? What is it? He doesn't know to stretch? Really? Wow. Cornerback, injured reserve. Defensive lineman, injured reserve. Guard, injured reserve. Defensive lineman, injured reserve. Safety, Malafano, out with an ankle. Defensive lineman, injured reserve. Wide receiver, injured reserve, but nobody I've ever heard of. O-lineman, injured reserve. Cornerback, out, never heard of him. So a lot of the backups or second stringers are out. Green Bay, let's see. Jordan Love, questionable with the knee MCL. So he's not ruled out. I mean, if we hear he plays, it's a huge bet on Green Bay getting 9 from Tennessee all day. They're probably a pretty decent bet with there's going to run it down Tennessee's throat with Willis and with the Jacobs, the running back from Oakland. But if Love plays, I would say this is a lock if Love plays. I guess we'll see. At it's 11:39. It starts at 1. We'll check about 20-1. At 20-1, if we see that this line's moved to even or Green Bay's favored, we know why, and we jump on it. So again, he's questionable. He's not out. He's not on injured reserve. A.J. Dillon is injured reserve. That's about it. Houston. Case Keenum's on injured reserve. I didn't know he was on the team. The Caser. Defensive end on reserve. Defensive tackle, Achilles. Joe Mixon out with an ankle. Should never have left Cincinnati, Mixon. How do you leave when you got Joe Burrow on your team? How do you go to Houston? Really? Jeff Okudah, the guy from Ohio State, the Lions selected 3, basically was injured, and he's on the injured reserve with a hip now. So what a scammer. He fakes the injuries and then he gets paid. This is why you don't do guaranteed money, and you do it based on performance, not on here's your money. Let's see. Pierce, the running back's out with the hamstring. So who does Houston play? They got Minnesota. Huh? Yeah, I like Minnesota. All right, Indy. DeForest Buckner, defensive tackle, is on IR. Defensive ends on IR. This is who Indy. And they got Prime, or they got Caleb. This is the same as Prime Jr., Caleb. Another bum. Michael Pittman, questionable. Let's see. Looking for anybody we might know. Jacksonville. Evan Ingram's out. Taco Charlton, questionable. A lot of questionables. Safety, injured reserve. Cornerback, injured reserve. Tank Bigsby, questionable with the shoulder. He's playing. I don't see anybody with the name. Kansas City. All right. Hollywood Brown, injured reserve with the shoulder, but he didn't play anyway. Chocolatey Claire, non-football injury reserve with an illness. What kind of illness? But Checo's on injured reserve with the lower leg. Who's going to run for us today? And that's it. So they're real healthy except for Pacheco, and then Chocolatey Claire's out. So who's their other running back? But knowing Andy Reid, he's smart enough to get, hey, there's injuries. It's football. A lot of these coaches aren't that smart. They don't get there's injuries. It's football. San Diego. Sony Michel, I didn't know he was on the team. Oh, he retired. So what the fuck you putting him on the injured list for? DJ Chark, the receiver, injured reserve. Justin Herbert, questionable with an ankle. That's about it. The Rams, the whole team's out. Aaron Donald's retired, we know. Cooper Kupp out with an ankle. A lot of receivers that are questionable. Pukanuka, injured reserve with the knee. See, at least they have these injuries. The other one didn't even have those injuries. Oakland, let's see. We don't care about questionables. They'll all take the needle. A lot of questionables on Oakland. A DE injured reserve knee. Linebacker out. Never heard of him. Cornerback doubtful with the hamstring. A safety injured reserve. Never heard of him. All right, let's see. Was our guy and I don't see our Max Crosby questionable with an ankle. Okay, he's playing. He'll take the needle. North Dallas 40. Miami. The only thing on North Dallas 40 is if they didn't like Nick Nolte, why didn't they just trade him? Best hands in the league. You're fucking around with him. He catches all your touchdowns, and who cares? And and then they do the bullshit. Why didn't they just trade him and get somebody good for him that was a kiss ass, a brown noser? I mean, what kind of coach was that? They should have killed him in The Godfather. BA. All right, Miami. Odell Beckham Jr. unable to perform. Regular season undisclosed. Let's see. Rasheed Moser, doubtful with the chest. River Craycraft, the receiver, injured reserve. Bradley Chubb, out with an ACL. Tagovailoa, injured reserve with concussion. So we're getting Skylar Thompson today. So are we all loading up on Seattle? Minnesota. TJ Hawkinson, knee, ACL, MCL. The tight end from the Lions. Jordan Addison, the wide receiver, out with an ankle. Let's see about George Jefferson. Is he on the list? Are you kidding me? So Jefferson's playing. I don't see him on the injured list, Jefferson. This is interesting. So if he's playing, fuck, I might have to lock Minnesota. I thought he was out, then he was questionable. The guy's fucking playing. Well, he's not on the list, so I assume he's playing. Houston's favored and Jefferson's playing? Okay, thank you very much. The New York Giants, do we even need to go through it? They don't have any professional players on their team. And you're hoping that you don't see Daniel Jones because you want him in there, not Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is much better. Okay. So look for another big effort from the Giants. Maybe they score 10 points against Cleveland. The JETSs, we've already played. All right. So we don't care. New England, if we played the Jets, we don't care. And we don't have Brady on it. New Orleans. Tackle is out. We don't know who he is. A defensive end's out. I've never heard of. Tyson Hill out with the chest. That could be a problem. Defensive tackle out with the calf. Linebacker Nefi Sewell out with the knee. It looks like all the big players are going to play. Philadelphia. When did they get Julio Jones? He's questionable with concussion. This guy never plays. This is your typical Alabama receiver, always injured. Real or imagined, I'm not sure. Concussion, questionable. Yeah. Fletcher Cox retired. Yeah, well, we know that. Why do they put those on there? He's not injured. Rashad Penny retired. Interesting. He was good in college. A.J. Brown out with the hamstring. Rambo. These guys are questionable. That's it. So they're fairly other, except for Brown's out. Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh, questionable with the calf, and we got Pittsburgh is where the hell are they? Got to be on here somewhere. Oh yeah, they're playing San Diego. Pittsburgh is still 2.5 favored. I don't know if he's playing or not. He's questionable with the calf. I doubt it. A guard out, linebacker injured reserve, a cornerback reserve. Boston Scott, heard of him, questionable with an undisclosed. So it doesn't, I don't know Russell Wilson. It just says questionable. I doubt he's playing, or you'd see a different spread. San Francisco, the whole fucking team's injured, as we know. Christian McCaffrey's on IR with an Achilles. George Kittle's out with the hamstring. Nick Bosa's questionable with ribs. Deebo Samuel is out with the calf. The whole fucking team's hurt. Greenlaw is got unable to perform regular season Achilles. I like Greenlaw. And the new guy gets shot downtown San Francisco. What the fuck you going to downtown San Francisco with all the shit going on? And you're a star. You're not. You weren't very good at Florida. It was a terrible pick. But Seattle, George Fant, tackle I've heard of, is on the IR. Linebacker out. Another linebacker hamstring, doubtful. Let's see. Kenneth Walker's doubtful with an oblique. Cameron Young, nose tackles out. They got a shit. See, it's not that they're bad, but the way it's set up now, you really don't have good backups because you can't afford them because you're spending all your money on the stars, which you shouldn't do, or it should be on performance. And then you could get better backups, and then these guys get injured. You're fucked. You have McCaffrey, you have Deebo Samuel, and Kittle out. Yeah, good fucking luck. The difference is you're playing the Rams, who don't have Puka Nuka or Cooper Kupp. So, I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, you have Stafford and Purdy, which are key. Frisco, they have that backup running back in Ayuk, who's pissed because of his contract. Tampa Bay, we've got Vita Vea out. Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety's out. Bryce Hall, the cornerback's injured, but they were out last week and they didn't have any problems with the line. See, they came in very strong last week. Tampa's much better this year, much more aggressive, I think. Tennessee, is there anybody we would know on Tennessee? Probably not. Terrible roster. And then you took the coach away, so good luck with Tennessee. How are they favored against Green Bay? See, if Jordan Love was playing, they'd kill him. Green Bay would kill him. Washington, Marcus Mariota. Oh, he's on the injury reserve with a chest. He didn't play. How could he get hurt? Going in and out of the shower. Defensive end out with the knee. A lot of questions. The whole team's questionable. So you can tell when they don't like the coach, everybody's hurt. I can't play. 49ers are injured. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah. Went through all that. Yeah, thank you, TK, Greg and John. So with that, let's go back to the odds and see if anything changed. Basically, is Jordan Love playing? Is Russell Wilson playing? Cleveland 6.5, Tennessee 3, which would say Jordan Love's not playing. Indy 1.5, Houston 1.5, and I believe Jefferson's playing. Pitt 2.5, which is what it was. So I don't believe Russell Wilson's. But I think if it was Russell Wilson, it might be 4 or 5. But this is about right. 2.5, 2.5, 36. Yeah. See, there were 35s on the other site, and here's a 36. So it all shop around for your lines, please. Oakland 5.5, Seattle 4, Baltimore 1, San Francisco 6.5, Detroit 3, KC 3, Buffalo 5.5, Cincinnati 7.5, and the Jets won 24-3. All right, let's break it down one step further. As only I can break it down. Where the fuck did the thing go? All right, Chicago Indy. Chicago under team. Indy and the E team. Indy laying 1. Chicago with a very good defense, 18 defense, and no offense. A 211-yard offense. That's like high school, right? And you got Caleb against Richardson. Indy's an E team with a 23 defense. They get 330 yards a game. So the Bears are an under team. They got a good defense, and they have no offense. None at all. And now you got Keenan Allen out, so all you got is DJ Moore, which they can easily do it. Romo Doozy does nothing. He doesn't know what to do. The guy's a rookie. You don't play a rookie. I mean, very few rookies can come into the NFL from college and do anything. It's a good 6-7 games, maybe, but look at Mahomes didn't play his first year, and Brady didn't come in till Bledsoe got hurt, and Peyton Manning sucked his first year. Joe Montana sucked his first year. They get better, but this is the problem. So I think you just keep betting, depending on who they're playing. If the Bears are playing Pittsburgh or San Diego or Oakland, it's an under game. They're not going to score in the game. So Indy here, not a great defense, a 23, 330-yard. Richardson's going to run around. He probably won't do much either. The Giants and Cleveland. The Giants are a Z team, 25 defense, 284 yards of offense. And we got Daniel Jones, who is worse than Bryce Young. How the Giants are playing them, and heads haven't rolled yet. The coach needs to be fired. You're better off with Danny DeVito, and the GM is probably forcing the coach to play him because we paid Daniel Jones $35 million a year because we're fucking idiots. Because we don't know what to look at. Because Eli Manning thinks he'll be good. Cleveland, an E team. 6.5, 38.5 here, a 23 defense, which I'm shocked that high, as long as Myles Garrett's out there. And again, an offense, only 287, and Deshaun Watson sucks. Getting a little bit better. I don't know. I don't see anything from him, but I'll be shocked if the Giants win, and we'll see here with it's basically Myles Garrett. You're betting on Myles Garrett here. Green Bay, Tampa. Green Bay's an under team only because Love's out. Otherwise, they're an over team. A 22 defense, 400 yards a game, but a lot of that's with Love. And we got Willis. Green Bay is 13-1, their last 14. Tennessee is a W team. It's 3.5, 37.5. A 24 defense, and they only get 295 yards a game with Will Levis. How do these guys keep these quarterbacks, and they can't even get 300 yards of offense? Are you fucking kidding me? In the NFL, so you got top flight quarterbacks. You got fucking Daniel Jones. You got Caleb. You got Richardson. You got Deshaun Watson, you got Will Levis, and they can't get you 300 yards of offense. What the fuck is going on? How stupid are these owners? I don't understand. Well, we'll have quarterbacks who can run. No, you need quarterbacks who can throw, not quarterbacks who can run. So again, if Love was playing this, we would lock Green Bay, but I don't think he is. Willis just really handed off to Jacobs. That's probably what you'll get here today. Levis is terrible. Philly, New Orleans. Philly's an over team. They played a big game with Green Bay, and then last week who did they play? They lost to Atlanta. The defense still sucks. They're a 26 defense. They do get 400 yards of offense with Jalen Hurts, although they don't have A.J. Brown today. New Orleans, A team, best team in the league, laying 2.5. I don't understand that. 15 defense, 407 yards of offense with Derek Carr. See, this is what an NFL team is, 400 yards of offense. Let's look at Mahomes. He's only got 332. He had to play Baltimore and Cincinnati. Let's look at Burrow. He had a bad week. So, I mean, there's not a lot of 400-yard guys, a lot of 300-yard guys. Got to be Daria, right? I'm teaching. No, Jenna. All right. So New Orleans, the best team in the league, 407. Kamara's playing well, Olavi, and then they added Shaheed. Now they got two desperate. They added Gary Kubiak as the offensive guru, and now they're throwing the ball down the field, not these stupid little wide receiver screens. I'm so sick of 4th and 2 or 3rd and 2, and he throws a completion for a -2 yards because he throws those stupid wide receiver screens that everybody knows is coming, and the cornerbacks can easily evade the blockers. This is the best play you can come up with on 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2. Unbelievable. I swear these offensive coordinators are so fucking stupid. All right, so New Orleans, again, the best team in the league by a mile, especially with the Niner injuries, the Ram injuries, Philadelphia, terrible coaching. All right, San Diego Pitt. San Diego, an A team, statistically with a 7 defense, a 335 yards a game with Justin Herbert, who's injured with an ankle, but will probably play today to hand off. Pitt's an under team. Fields is terrible. They got an 8 defense, 276 yards. Fields still, he's horrible. They're 2-0 because of TJ Watt, not because of Fields. Fields is just pathetic. Again, a 7 defense against an 8 defense. Should be a very low scoring game here. Herbert injured, Fields healthy, doesn't matter. But I do have San Diego as an 18. They are scoring a little bit. Houston and Minnesota. Houston's an E team, 20 defense. They get 390 yards a game with Stroud, who's he's average. Against Minnesota, an A team with the 12 defense and 367 yards of offense with Sam Darnold. So here you have a little bit more offense. I don't know what I took here. I think that. I got to check my play here, did I? Which way did I go in this game? Okay. So Minnesota I have as an A team. They just beat the Niners. They got a 12 defense, 367 yards a game, and Sam Darnold. Jefferson apparently he's going to play because I don't see him on the injured list. So I really don't understand Minnesota being a home dog again. All right, you play the Niners and they beat them. Houston's not better than the Niners, even with because they didn't have all the injuries, just McCaffrey out. And here you have Minnesota as a home dog again. And they have a very good defense, obviously a 12 defense, and they played, San Francisco. So Minnesota should be favored in this game. I don't understand this overreaction to CJ Stroud in Houston. It's not deserved. Denver, Tampa Bay. Denver's an under team for now. Bo Nix. They have a 20 defense, 274 a game. Bo Nix is struggling, but okay, he'll get better. Tampa's playing very well. Went into Detroit, not easy to do, and beat the shit out of them. They're an A team with an 18 defense, 328 yards for the Baker. So I just think right now they're even without Winfield, they didn't miss a stride. Their backups were there. They were aggressive. Look for Tampa. They're a very good A team right now. I think they got a new offensive coordinator. Carolina, Oakland. Carolina, the worst team in college football and in pro football. Z team, 37 defense, 197 total yards offense. They don't even get 200 yards of offense. They go to Andy Dalton, who hasn't played in 3-4 years. He gets Oakland. He gets the killer defense of Oakland. So yes, Dalton will be okay. He's much better than Young, but not here. Oakland's an E team. They don't score enough, but they started to score last week against Baltimore. Lane 5 and 41, a 23 defense, which I think will get better. 316 yards a game, which I think will get better after what we saw with Minshew. So Brock Bowers is getting more comfortable. Devontae Adams. So Minshew has to have time throwing to these guys, getting them open, and that's why you need fucking season. So they're starting to get better. Look for Oakland to give KC all they want in the division with San Diego and Denver with Bo Nix. It's going to be 6-7 games, and then he's very good. Miami, Seattle. Miami's a W team, a 24 defense. Skylar Thompson goes instead of Tagovailoa. They both suck. 392 yards of offense, but not with Thompson. Seattle, an over team. A 20 defense with 345 yards with Geno Smith, who's terrible. He's got Smith-Njigba catching the ball and Lockett not, which Lockett's probably pissed off, and Metcalf, who's really good. They don't have Kenneth Walker. They got Guy Charbonneau, who's okay. So Seattle, their problem is defensively, although here they should dominate Miami with Skylar Thompson. Are you kidding me? He's terrible. Tua made his big exit last week. Oh, we're playing Buffalo. Time for me to choke. Jesus, he sucked last week. Maybe that's why he ran into the guy to get concussion so he could, instead of quitting, I'm going to retire with concussions. Three concussions already. Why is he playing? He's not very good. He can't win a big game. And he keeps, instead of sliding, running head first into these linebackers. Seems like an idiot. Detroit at Arizona. Detroit's an under team. Yes, they're an under. They were an over team last year. This is the tweak that I make as we go, changing. So in the beginning, they're an over team. But then we see them after 2 or 3 weeks going, oh, no, they're not an over team. They're an under team. They're not scoring. Detroit somehow is a 3-point favorite in this game. I have no idea. In a 51.5 total. Their defense giving up 20 a game. They get 422 yards and they don't score because Jared Goff is terrible. Arizona is an A team. They're a very strong team. They got a 22 defense and they throw for 400 yards. Well, they get 400 yards with Kyler Murray, who's playing very good. You've added Marvin Harrison, who's getting open deep. And basically Murray's running well, which Detroit can't handle a running quarterback. My spread is Arizona -3. Why is Detroit on the road favored? Unbelievable. Again, another fucked line by Vegas. I don't know what they're thinking with Houston as a road favorite, with Detroit as a road favorite. I don't see how Detroit's going to win this game. The problem is they made Jameson Williams, the fast guy from Alabama who can't catch, their second receiver. And the problem with that is in the red zone, he can't do anything. There's nowhere to run because he runs out of the back of the end zone. He's done. They're playing a zone. So if he runs across, they're just going to kill him. And he's not good enough to like make a pylon catch or anything. And they're very few that's open anyway. You've got to be able to run the ball in the red zone. Detroit's too stupid to do that. So Williams really is a big liability in the red zone. So I don't know, but I think there are other receivers they let go for the wrong reasons. They kept Williams, who is just fast, but fast at the 40 helps you. Fast inside the 20 doesn't help you. The Niners and the Rams. The Niners were an over team with a 21 defense, 400 yards a game. Brock Purdy, who I like. The Rams are a W team. They played the Lions good, but then got killed by Arizona, which is another reason I like Arizona. 34 defense by the Rams. They get 335 yards. Stafford, we know, he's very good. But we've got so many injuries here. Samuel, Kittle, McCaffrey out for the Niners. Puka-Nacua, Cooper Kupp out again for the Rams. I've never seen this. Cooper Kupp guy keeps getting injured. So again, a 34 defense by the Rams is what worries me. I don't know how you can play the game, and I wouldn't even know which way to turn on it. Maybe an under because all those stars are out, but the backups will probably play. This is professional, so Stafford will hit the other guys, and Purdy will hit the other guys, and they have another running back, Frisco. So this is a watch and see. We got to learn these teams right now. Baltimore, Dallas, both teams are over. Baltimore is favored by 47.5. 27 defense, 420 yards of offense, and it's Lamar, who we know chokes. And then they scored. They put up 20 on KC, and then they blew a 10-point lead to Baltimore, which I was shocked. Oakland came back last week. The ghost to the post, Kenny Stabler last week. Dallas, an over team, gives up 31 points a game. How the fuck do you give up 31 points? You got Micah Parsons. What's the coach doing? They get 324 yards a game and 2 interceptions by Dak Prescott every game. Prescott's terrible. He's their problem. Lamar, he's their problem. Again, you got 2 weak defenses, at least for now, probably because, they didn't play in the preseason. So none of them are in shape. So we will see. Baltimore must win. They're 0-2. Dallas, they're just not a very good team. And they get the Giants next week. Okay, they can probably handle them because they're so bad. I mean, that's where they're getting their wins, the Giants in Washington and splitting with Philadelphia, and then the other weak teams they play. KC, normally an A team. I'm giving them an E. They're just not they're probably an A. They're like a 25 offense, 23 defense. Their defense, a little weaker than I thought, but again, I think by week 5, they'll have a 16 defense. Spagnuolo is still the coach. So they're laying 46.5. 23 defense, 332 yards for Mahomes a game. Pacheco is out, as is Chocolate Eclair. Atlanta under, give up 20 a game, 319 yards of offense, and Kirk Cousins, who's terrible as the quarterback. waiting for Penix to get out there. They'll see after they drop 4 or 5 more games with Cousins, they'll go to Penix and say goodbye. See, the owners are like, well, we paid him $45 million. That's your fault, buddy. You made a bad investment there. He's not your answer. Penix is your answer. So KC, it's a small spread. I am laying 7. They're laying 3. Pretty good defensive game. I don't know how good Atlanta's defense is. They haven't, against Philly, it just hurts. It's terrible. So we'll see. But otherwise, probably, we'll see if Cousins is getting better because how do you not play these guys in the preseason when they're on a new team? They've got to learn the receivers. They're not learning them in practice. Sorry. You've got to learn it with the blitz on, and they're covered by good corners, not your guys. Just incredibly stupid. Obviously, this inter-squad practice with the other team, nobody really plays 100%. Everybody's worried about getting hurt. So nobody's playing. Don't give me this replaces a game. That's bullshit. Jacksonville under team, 19 defense, 319 offensive game, and Trevor Lawrence, who's terrible. He wants to run. He's not a passer. Buffalo, an A team, playing very well. 19 defense. Von Miller's back, 305 yards. Josh Allen. I think there's KC and there's Cincinnati and there's Buffalo, and then we got Oakland and San Diego are your best teams. Pitt's not there. Maybe with Russell Wilson if he plays. Baltimore, who the fuck knows? And nobody in the AFC South is even a good team. So yeah, we have Buffalo. Probably a third or fourth best team. So they're playing well. And the last game, Washington, the Giants. Washington, a W team, kind of an over. They give up 28 a game, 382. Daniels is looking okay, but again, he beat the Giants. That's like playing a high school team. Cincinnati, an E team because of the first week, but they got their shit together last week. Should have won. A terrible call. Terrible penalty. You can't make that call. I don't care if it's interference. I don't care if the guy gets tackled. You can't. The refs cannot determine the game. It's got to be the players. Terrible call. A 21 defense for Cincy. Now with Mahomes, that's real. And they get 283 a game, but the first game they didn't do anything against New England. Look for them to blow out Washington. I got 37-17 Cincinnati. This is your free play. They're 0-2. Their back's against the wall. They got the better team playing a weak team. Yeah, Daniels will do stuff, but not any more than Mahomes did. But their defense is nowhere near Kansas City's. And Burrow's pissed, and Chase is pissed, and they moved the ball very well against Kansas City with a Spagnuolo defense. I don't know who Washington has. That's your free pick, Washington, 37-17. Now, if you were in my class, I would go through every games, every score, and all my picks and my 3 locks. But you don't get that here, unfortunately. So I don't know. Not a lot in the free class. I'm not sure why. I don't know what you're waiting for. $25 for the class. I'm being very generous on that. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So when we go through the teaser trends, Green Bay 13-1 in a teaser trend. We got Minnesota as a strong home dog teaser trend. The Bakers very strong at home in the teaser trend. Oakland is very strong at home as a teaser trend. Detroit's strong on the road because Oakland's not a strong home dog, but after last week beating the Rams, I think that's changing, so be careful on that. Atlanta is a good home play because normally KC wins every game by 6, 7, 8 points, and so the teaser against them works. They're good with the teaser and good. You're good betting against them. And Cincinnati is a big teaser trend also, which I didn't even factor in, but they're very good at home. And Washington is terrible on the road. Very bad. They're like Carolina, very bad team. So what is, are you making points here, Greg or John? Or are you just texting the text? Giants are bad. We know. Oakland's good. Okay. That's what I'm saying. 60 million for Dak, who gives a fuck, and the Yankees are good. I'm not talking baseball. So again, vampiring, Greg. You're like making comments to make a comment, but they don't make any sense, and half of them aren't relevant. So I don't know what you're doing. So that's football today. Again, Baltimore is 0-2 and has to win, and they're playing Dallas. I don't know how we trust Lamar. I mean, they shouldn't be 0-2. I mean, they should have beat Oakland last week. So it shows me they don't have a good defense, at least not yet. They're probably tired. They got tired in the fourth quarter. That's the coach's fault for not playing him in the preseason. I'm sorry, I can't worry about my guys getting injured in the preseason and then losing 2 games because I'm not prepared. That's not you're here to win. You got 17 games. You're here to win. You want to waste 2 or 3 games because you don't want to get anybody injured in the preseason? Go coach tennis or something. You don't think they practice golf and tennis? When I play golf, I practice. I go to the driving range. I go to the putting green. I chip. I go to the school and hit 7-irons. I mean, I'm always practicing. Am I worried about an injury? Fuck no. That never enters my mind. I'm here to hit golf balls. Football. Play them for at least a quarter. Let them get out there. Let them get their. They need to get hit. They need to hit. They need to run. They need all that. I mean, so I don't understand what in God's name these coaches are doing. They're so afraid of injuries. It's football. You're going to get the guys injured. So now you got Pukanuka and Cooper Kupp out. Wow, that's great. You didn't play him in the preseason. That really helped. All right, so that's pros. We'll take a look about 12:40. We'll review the line one more time to see if Jordan Love's playing or if Russell Wilson's playing or any of these guys. All right, let's look at college last night real quickly. I have Indiana pretty big, laying 28 down to 22. Oh, I didn't fill in my scores. They won 50. They won by 28, 52-14. So that was good. James Madison, what was that? 70-50 over North Carolina. Holy crap. Good quarterback on James Madison. He's one of these real fast guys. Reminded me of Kyler Murray. I don't know if he could throw, but he could run. And North Carolina couldn't adjust. Clemson had a big win. Kansas, West Virginia. Kansas, again, their quarterback let them down. They got to get rid of this quarterback. Ohio State, I warned you about not laying 40 points, and they didn't cover. They won by 30, I think. It was like 48-14. They won by 30. Well, they were laying 39-40. So, but Marshall put up 14. They were really out-coached. I mean, Ohio State would just spread the field, throw it, and the guy would go 60 yards for a touchdown. I'm like, really? What kind of defense you running there? Houston, Cincy, I had this game under. It wasn't the under I expected, but Cincy won 34-0, but it stayed under 54. So that was a winner. The Army, I had the Army big in 2 teasers, and they killed them. I just had that feeling. Army's running it down their throats. They're When Army and Navy have good running attacks, forget about them. You're not beating them unless you're Georgia or Alabama. Kentucky and Ohio, I get lucky and win that one. I have the under. It goes 41, 7's 48. I'm under 48 and a half. But again, Ohio's an under team. Kentucky, I'm surprised they scored 41, but they kept it just low enough for me. Let's see. Northern Illinois loses the game. I don't get it. They get 700 yards offense early. Then they beat Notre Dame, and they lose to fucking Buffalo. I got to reevaluate North. See, that's where you get caught. This is strong offense. They beat Notre Dame, and then they lose to Buffalo? Really? How does that happen? USC, Michigan, the free pick. I had USC winning 27-14. They lose 27-24. Their offense was terrible in the first half. 3rd and 1, let's run up the middle and get stonewalled. What the fuck are you doing with that? In the second half, he threw the ball all over the place, which is what I thought he would do. Michigan gets a pick 6, and they ran this guy right up the middle, and USC looked like they didn't know how to tackle. They're hitting instead of tackling. 60-yard run, then he just keeps handing the ball off, and USC's like just staring there like, what are we supposed to do? So I was worried about USC's defense. It's obviously not a 10. They did beat LSU. It was a fake, beating Utah State. Now we see they suck against the run. And the quarterback did throw the pick 6. When you're playing a team without a quarterback, the last thing you want to do is pick 6s. It was a stupid play. I thought Lincoln Riley's I'm questioning his ability to call plays now. I think he's starting to be an idiot. The whole first half, he keeps running on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Let's run up the middle and lose 2 yards. And we won't do it one time. We'll do it 10 times. That's where you lost, is the first half. You should have had a big lead, and then Michigan had to throw the ball. Navy beats Memphis, which I didn't play, but I liked Navy. Penn State does get the win, just as I called it. I think it was 56-0. I had 56-3. LSU blows out UCLA, which I thought. Rutgers, I have 24-20. They win 23-20. I did have Rutgers as a live dog. I don't know why. See, this is where I get confused. I should have locked Rutgers in 9.5. I did lock Baylor 8.5. I should have locked Army. I don't know why I didn't, and I should have locked North Texas, and I don't know why I didn't. I mean, it's there's so many games I'm getting kind of lost in the bulk of the games. Georgia Tech, Louisville. I'm over 50, and maybe I did win this. I think I had this game over 51, and it was 31-19. It was a 50, but I think I lost by a point. This is one of those games where there was 3 or 4, let's go for it on 4th downs instead of kicking field goals. And I would have won if they kicked 1 field goal. Instead, they lose because they keep going for 4th downs. And I don't know where these stats come from that going for it on 4th down is a good thing. All I see is loss of down, turnover, loss of downs. And I see the team losing. I haven't seen a team lose downs and win yet. So that I was a little surprised, 31-19, that Georgia Tech only got 19. But they got down there 4 times and went for it on 4th down. And there's a couple missed field goals. What are you going to do? Utah, what the fuck's going on with Cam? I'm starting to get pissed about Cam Rising. First of all, you're a football player. He should have played yesterday. I don't understand all this drama. He's going to play. He's not going to play. Yes, he's playing. We're planning on him playing. And then it's a game time decision. An hour before the game, it's a game time decision. And then the guy doesn't play. How bad can your finger be hurting? So take the fucking freeze. They can freeze your fingers so you don't feel anything. This is football, son. You've got to play with pain, especially in a big game. The other kid looks okay. He looks better than Barnes did last year. At least the backup's okay. But he's a freshman. Now, why is Cam Rising hurting his right hand? He ran into the Gatorade cooler. Why aren't you protecting your right hand? Why are you running into the cooler? Right? If I see a wall here, what am I going to do? I'm going to protect my right hand because that's my throwing hand and hit it with the left shoulder or left arm. What are you doing? So I'm questioning Cam Rising. Like, is he an idiot? I mean, what is he doing? He should never have hurt his right hand. I know he got pushed into the cooler, but you protect your right hand and you get hit with the left hand, and who cares? You don't throw with your left hand. So to let your right hand get hit means this guy is, I don't know, stupid or something. And then should have played yesterday, wear a glove, tape the hand, whatever it is, numb it, freeze it, whatever. You can't be out. You can't hurt your right hand after missing all of last year. You can't hurt your right hand and running into a Gatorade thing. Yes, you were pushed. You can't hurt your right hand. Sorry. And then enough with this bullshit. Well, he's playing. It's game time decision crap. So by game times, his finger's going to be better. Did he numb it? Did he take the shot? Did he freeze it? I guess not. Maybe he did, and he still couldn't throw. What's all this game time decision crap? He knew when he woke up Saturday morning. He probably knew Friday he couldn't go. So now we got to play this game. Fuck Cam. I'm getting tired of this shit. Now, I end up playing Utah because I think he's playing because it says, yep, we're all set for him to play. So I'm watching the line, and it goes from 1 to 1 and 1 and 1. And I take Utah in 7, and I win because they kicked the shit out of Oak State. Great defense, like I said. They win 23 or 22-19, 23-19. So it did get to, well, that was 42. So it was an under game. As I thought, without Cam, it was an under game, but I actually took Utah in 7 and got the win. Like, what the fuck? Missouri, I don't know what's going on with them. They struggle with fucking Vanderbilt and Boston College. I don't know. Maybe they don't know how to be a favorite. Some teams are good dogs and can't be favorites, and I think Missouri's one of them. I can't trust them. But I didn't bet them yesterday, so I did learn. SMU, TCU, I have no idea what happened here. SMU puts up like 70 points. I don't know where this came from. They weren't scoring. They had a decent defense, but they weren't scoring, and they lit it up with TCU. They played like a 110-point game. TCU, I know, is an explosive team, but SMU hasn't been showing it. They fucking barely beat Nevada, and then they lost to BYU 18-15, and now they put up 100 points. Let's see. North Texas, Wyoming. I take North Texas from 7-1 because Wyoming stinks, and North Texas beats them by 20. Again, they don't have a good defense, but against Wyoming, I knew they don't have a good offense, so I knew North Texas is going to score, and it's just, how's Wyoming going to keep up? And that was the logic, and that should have been locked with Baylor, with Rutgers, and with the Army. This was just the same play as the Army. Toledo, Western Kentucky. Toledo puts up 60 points on Mississippi and doesn't score on Western Kentucky. I lose by a few points on this one, over 53, 54, and I think they scored 48 or something. I was shocked. Western Kentucky wins it easy, so they were a good home dog. But Toledo, you put up 60 points on Mississippi State, and then you can't score on Western Kentucky. Very confused. I thought Toledo was a higher scoring team. I don't know if there was an injury. I'll have to check. Miami against South Florida. Miami beats them by 50. It was a close game for about 5 minutes. I think it was 22-14 South Florida, and then Miami puts up 50 points. Lane 16, Miami covers easy. The over of 65, I think they barely get there. Florida State against Cal. Florida State wins 20-17. Under, anytime Oogly Boogly is playing, you gotta take the dog in the under, and that was easy. A&M Bowling Green. I warned you that Bowling Green played Penn State well, and they covered in this game. Tennessee, Oklahoma. Now we see Tennessee just is a complete team. Oklahoma quarterback sucked. They brought in the backup. He was maybe a little bit better. Why is he the backup then if he's better than the starter? Oklahoma defense. So Tennessee's the real deal now. They went into Oklahoma with the freshman. He looks fantastic. You got Alabama and Georgia, son. Be careful. And maybe Texas too. I don't remember. Iowa, Minnesota. I bet this game under 42, and it goes 45. But I had him with Illinois under, so I lose the Illinois under, and I lose the Iowa under in the same teaser, so I'm not too upset. Because the teaser was already gone, and then I'm thinking, okay, and then they lose this. Ole Miss against Georgia Southern. It's a close game for a while. Ole Miss does pull away. I don't know if they covered I don't have the score on it. Michigan State, Boston College. Michigan State plays well. It's a close game, as I thought, and Michigan State covers as the dog. Baylor, Colorado. Unbelievably bad ending for Baylor, but we do cover. Spread was 2.5 when I bet it. Went down to 1.5, 2. In Colorado on a miracle play because of the worst defensive setup I've ever seen in my life. It reminded me of the Duke-Kentucky game where the Kentucky guy didn't guard the out of bounds and he just throws it and the guy catches it and there's nobody around him and he makes the shot. I mean, it was like they were all on one side. The prime junior runs to the other side, but the defense doesn't react and they don't know what to do. And the guys in the end zone are just standing there, and then they wait till he throws the ball. Then they start running after it, and they're all 5 yards too late. It was the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. Defensive coordinator should be fired because he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. So he goes, and the play starts. There's at the 50-yard line and no time left, right? It's last play. They need a touchdown to tie. So he puts 3 guys in the end zone and has a few guys at the 10 or 20. So basically nobody's covering anybody. And the receivers are running while the guys just stand there. So they're going to get run right by because you can't play defense like that. And he doesn't pressure the quarterback. He puts 3 guys on the left. He runs to the right. Well, what the fuck was that? Well, you think he's going to run to the right? You don't think he can run to the left? I mean, this is so stupid. And then the guy falls down covering him, and the other guy trips, and everybody, it was totally fixed in my mind. Totally a fixed play so they can make the prime junior the Heisman Trophy. Look what he did. He should win the Heisman now. That's what that was about. It was purely fantasy, totally fixed play. Absolutely 100% fixed. Anyway, we do get the win. It was my lock. Baylor plus 8, 8.5. So they win by 7. Okay, fine. Texas blows out Lou Monroe. Fresno State, New Mexico. I get the over at the end. I had to sweat out the last few minutes, but I do get that over. And then Kansas State, BYU under was my lock. My other lock with the Baylor under 55. And it was a weird game. There wasn't a lot of offense. There was a lot of turnovers. So it's 6-0 with 2 minutes left in the half. And Kansas State fumbles, BYU takes it in. Kansas State fumbles again. BYU recovers, throws a pass for a touchdown. Like, there's a minute left in the half. This should go to half, 6-0. What the fuck? You're fumbling. What do you mean? A fumble recovery and then another fumble? So at the end, it's BYU wins. Never should have won. Kansas State played like shit, but we got the win with the lock. So pretty good day. Army, North Texas, Utah, Rutgers. I did lose USC, but I had them small. I lost a few of the over-unders. The Nebraska-Illinois under I lost. I did win the Kentucky under. I did win the Houston under. I lost the Toledo Western Kentucky under or over, which to me I couldn't understand. A lot of going for fourth down is what's killing the over-unders. I don't know how to factor that in, but they didn't. They're not. It's like, let's go for it. We got the ball at the 20. Let's not kick the field goal, which gives me the over. Let's go for it on 4th and 3, and we don't get it. And then you've run all this time off the clock with no points, and they get the ball at the 20, their own 20. So now it's a long field. That's what's killing the overs, are these stupid coaches with the stupid fourth downs. And then they never make it. I mean, that's all you see. Turnover on downs. There was a game 4 times. I think it was my Georgia Tech game. I lose by 1 point, and 4 times they had the ball deep and went for it on 4th down. Instead of, they kick field goals, they win the game, right? So I don't know, these coaches, they're all, none of them know how to coach. It's if you knew how to coach, you would kick your field goals, right? It's not certain 4th downs you're going to get them. And if you had such a good offense, you wouldn't be, your 3rd and 2 would have got you a 1st down. So they don't get it on 3rd. Everybody knows you're going to run, and they run up the middle, or they do this stupid wide receiver screen and he loses 2 yards because that's obvious. Prophet, how you doing, Prophet? I don't why professor, but I have this gut feeling Carolina's going to upset the Raiders today. No, that's not going to happen. Oakland showed you last week by beating Baltimore. They got Minshew, they got Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams. They got running. Carolina goes to Dalton, hasn't played in 2-3 years. They still suck. They still have a 37 defense. So I don't see it happening. There's no way that they're going to upset them. Yeah, I get, they go to Andy Dalton and they're recharged, but this is a badly coached team with a badly Andy. If you got to go to Andy Dalton, you're still hurting. So I don't see it. But I mean, anything can happen. So let's see. Yes, college football. We've got Mississippi State looks like a terrible team. They got killed by Toledo, and then they lost to Florida. So we're keeping an eye on Mississippi State. Let's bet against them next week. Indiana looks very, very strong. James Madison in conference. They scored 70 points on North Carolina. Let's keep our eye on it in conference, right? Clemson starting to score. Okay. Shows you how good Georgia is when they held them to 3 points. Kansas is not good. Their quarterback stinks. They need a quarterback change. They need to bring in the Rising or the Van Dyke, whoever the backup is, who should be playing, but the coach isn't playing him, and that's why they're losing. So the coach needs to wake up and go, hey, this guy sucks. He's always sucked. Let's go to my backup like you did with Bean, but Bean's not there. Ohio State looks great. Houston, a good under team. They, since he's not bad, Houston, good under team. Army looks very strong. Let's see. Northern Illinois is not what they appeared to be. I don't know if there's some key injuries or what, but they are terrible. USC, clearly not what we thought they were. And we really didn't know. I mean, with the new defensive coordinator, I was shocked that they let Michigan run down the field, and I was shocked the play calling the first half of Lincoln Riley, and then that pick six. You have a team without a quarterback. The last thing you want to do is throw a pick six. You're throwing to the All-American side. Throw to the other side. What are you doing? I mean, Lincoln Riley, people think he's good. He's not good. He's terrible. That's why none of his quarterbacks ever do well in the pros. Penn State, killed a Z team, LSU, UCLA is pretty bad. Rutgers very good. Louisville looks pretty good. Georgia Tech, I was a little surprised by. Had I teased it, I would have won. They lost 31-19, so by 12, I could have taken Georgia Tech in 16. So I get too polarized on the over-under and kind of forget the game. Where Michigan, the over-under was 46. Well, it was a 51. It was 27-24, I think. So, yeah, that did stay under. It was a 51, so it did stay under, but it wasn't a low scoring like I thought. USC has a long way to go yet. Utah, great defense. They didn't use Ollie Gordon enough, Oak State, I think. Missouri, not sure how strong they are. SMU finally woke up. TCU, we know, is an over team, so SMU finally scored. Washington looked pretty good beating Northwestern. North Texas, we know they're explosive. Western Kentucky starting to play better because they don't have to play Alabama. Toledo, maybe only in the MAC. Miami looks very strong. South Florida, not too bad. A good over team. Florida State just stinks. Cal's okay. A&M's not that good. Tennessee looks playoff team. Oklahoma, big trouble at Oklahoma. They don't have a quarterback. Otherwise, I'm sure they're a decent team, but without a quarterback, it just shows you. Kansas had a good quarterback. Now they don't. Now they stink. Missouri's got their quarterback, so I can't really explain where Missouri's all fucked up. Oklahoma, again, they're okay, but they're not anything. Iowa looks good with their running back. Minnesota's got quarterback trouble. Old Mississippi State, we still don't know if they're real. Again, they beat Georgia Southern, so it's not a real team. Baylor, what are they doing defensively? So Baylor's probably an over team. They can score. What are they doing defensively? Jesus Christ. Colorado, we know, is one to man. They're just an offensive team with no defense, and they can only pass. They can't run. Texas looks very strong, even with Manning Jr. Fresno State's playing good. Mikey Keene. And then BYU's not bad. Hard team to bet against. And Kansas State, wow, what the fuck they were doing. Their quarterback's kind of weak, and it's basically a running team in BYU. It should have been an easy under, like 10-6. So they made me sweat it at 1:30 in the morning. I'm watching, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't. And then I realized, I checked the line and I go, oh, I can give up a touchdown as long as they kick the extra point. I'm 44.5, and if they 54.5, and if they scored, it would have been 54. So I said, oh, okay, I'm all right, I think, the way they go for two now. But everything worked out. They held them, and BYU took knees, actually, and that was it. Okay, it's 12:47. Let's take our last look at our line. Looking for any changes, and we've got Indy 1.5, 43.5, hasn't really moved. Cleveland 6.5, 38, hasn't moved. Tennessee still a 3-point favorite, 37. If you've heard Jordan Love's playing, let us know, and we will bet a ton on Green Bay. New Orleans 2.5, 49 to Philly. Pitt 2.5, 36. Why are they betting the over in this game? I thought this would be like 32 by now. Pitt 2.5, 36. Houston 1.5, 46.5. Why Houston's favored, I have no idea. Tampa Bay 6, 40.5 to Denver. Oakland 5.5, 40. So I don't know where you're getting that. You like Carolina. What are you listening to, ESPN? Some idiot who wants money. So the casino has these shows on ESPN. So if they need money on Carolina because everybody's betting Oakland, then they'll tell you, oh, Carolina's got a chance. And then you listen to them instead of, you must be stoic. You must make up your mind, get the information, and make your bet based on what you understand. And we understand we got Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams, and they don't. And they don't have a quarterback. Dalton's okay, but hasn't played in years. Seattle 4, 41.5 to Miami. Detroit still 3, 51.5 to Arizona. The Niners still 6.5, 44.5 to the Rams. Baltimore's up to 1.5, 47.5. That's probably because they need the win. They're 0-2. I don't know the way their defense played. Even Prescott can do it. Well, the question here was CeeDee Lamb, is he out? But 47.5. Yeah, this number hasn't changed, so I will check CeeDee Lamb in a minute. KC 3, 46.5. Buffalo 5.5, 45.5. And Cincinnati somehow staying at 7.5, 47. Let's go check out CeeDee Lamb. Let's see if they give us some news on it. Packers quarterback Jordan Love inactive for week 3. Why do they waste time? How to watch the games? They're on TV. How do you mean how to watch it? Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins ready to return. More fuel to the fire. We were betting him without him, so getting him's good. Texans, Joe Mixon's out. We know that. Chargers, well, that's 2 days ago. So let's go to injuries. And really, all we're checking is CeeDee Lamb. But I'm looking at the injuries at the line, and I think it would be more. I mean, if CeeDee Lamb's out, I think it would be 3 or 4. All right, let's go to Dallas. My phone's freaking out. Dallas. They don't even have CeeDee Lamb on here, so as far as I can see, he's fine because they got everybody else. So that's what's good. So I've got a lot of plays. Anybody interested? I got 3 locks going today. Anybody interested? You got 7 minutes. Really good locks, really good plays, a ton of plays. Should be a very good day. I have a really good feeling about it. I did pretty good in college. I mean, we lost USC, but it was a small play for me. And the Louisville, Georgia Tech under, I lose by a point. The Western Kentucky over, I lose by a point. Or the Louisville over and the Western Kentucky over. So I had some small losses there. Iowa under with Illinois. Okay, that was in the same teaser. So, yeah, didn't go 100%. But a lot of the big ones I won. The Baylor lock, the Kansas State lock. That was actually paired together. And then the Baylor in another game. I think I have Baylor today and with one of my locks. And I think I had a couple other games I had. So I got lucky. I won with Utah, even though Cam Rising didn't play. So let's see. Anybody come aboard? Nope. Nobody wants to make money today. Okay, not a problem. So that's what we got. There's one thing on gold I want to show you before my phone runs out. So BRICS confirms 159 participants will attend the BRICS or wants to join BRICS. Now, there's two things going on here which you got to understand. The US has been the reserve currency because of this petrodollar. You've got to buy US dollars to get oil. That's gone. You can buy oil with anything you want. Secondly, you're having a gold-backed BRICS currency. So all the BRICS members will use this new dollar backed by gold. They want gold for the oil. Okay. And if everybody, so now that there's competition, what do you want? The dollar, which we got $36 trillion debt. So good luck wanting the dollar and it's staying in value. You're not going to buy a T-bill. Everybody's returning the dollars, which is massive inflation because you printed $150 trillion, which means it's not worth anything. But all of it's starting to come back because everybody's running away from the T-bills. Nobody wants to use the dollar because it's not worth anything. You got idiot Trump, who's not even the president, going, and don't kid me, I think they're both idiots. Kamala Harris, I think, is an idiot too. She's a communist. Trump, I don't know what he is. He's a protectionist. Both are terrible. But where's the Adam Smith people, the free market people? See, Kamala wants to go and change the Constitution. Oh, I'm going to help the middle class. You can't fucking help the middle class. The market can. You can't do anything. If you physically try to force prices down, you fuck everything up. You can't do it. So anyway, you got idiot Trump saying, "Oh, we're gonna tariff if you stop trading with us. We're gonna put tariffs on you." Well, guess what? Nobody wants to trade with you because nobody wants your money because it's worthless. So yes, we're the biggest economy in the world, but your money's crap, and that's the most important thing: is your money's crap. Now, by having competition with the BRICS countries, with the BRICS gold-backed currency, so now it's, do I want this or do I want this? Do I want this piece of shit that's toilet paper, or do I want this, which is real, which you can't copy or print? So this is limited. We're not sure how much is made, like 500,000 tons, 700,000. It doesn't matter, but you can't print it. So I want real money. I don't want toilet paper. So nobody wants to trade with the U.S. in the first place. So all these countries are going, they're all smart enough to go, I want gold. Everybody but the U.S. is smart enough to know, oh, I want gold. And you have this craziness. So this is the whole key to it. Because there was a monopoly on the U.S. dollar, you didn't have an option. If I don't use the U.S. dollar, what can I use? Now, if I don't use the U.S. dollar, I can use the BRICS gold-backed currency. I will join BRICS. They're going to have a dollar backed by gold, which is beautiful because we don't trust the Russians and the Chinese anyway. Now we don't have to. We'll just trust gold. They keep getting it wrong. They think that they'll be able to trade in their own currency. So I was watching the video and it says, well, now Morocco can trade with Egypt in their own currency. What's the value of their currency? Everything's valued in U.S. dollars. When the U.S. dollar goes down to zero, what's the value of the Moroccan and the Egyptian currency, or the Iran and the Russian and the China? They're all priced in U.S. dollars. They are missing that point. They're trying to put gold-backed currency at $3,500 to the ounce. Well, when the dollar goes out, what's the value going to be? So everybody's missing this point. When the Reichsmark went out in Germany and they switched it to the Deutschmark, what was the value? They had to change the value because there was no more, the Reichsmark had no value. In Rome, it had no value. In France and England, it had no value. So they tried to tie it to the dollar, like in England. And like now, it's all tied to the dollar. But when the dollar collapses, what's the value of your currency? So that's a big problem that people are not understanding, that everything gets changed to a value in gold, not a value in dollars, and it'll be much higher. So all the assets in dollars go to zero. Your house, your car, then it gets valued in gold, so don't worry. the US is too stupid to come out with the gold backed currency. We'll come out with a USD number two, which will be worthless. A digital currency will be worthless. It's still fiat. It's still not backed by anything. It's still, the difference is it's digital, but look how corrupt the digital is. You had one coin, which is a Ponzi scheme. You had this other one, which was a Ponzi scheme. You've had more Ponzi schemes with the digital dollar than anything else. How do you trust that? If there's no demand and no trust, nobody uses it. So that's the other point. So that's why gold's skyrocketing, because it's the only thing you can trust. But you've got to have it. My friend goes, well, what if I don't want physical? And I'm like, why the fuck would you not want physical? This is the only thing that's going to have value, is this coin and the gold, right? That's the coin itself will be the value. You can't have ETFs are worthless. Stocks, it's a good idea. It's undervalued, but unless somebody wants to buy the stock's not moving. The stock's just undervalued. Well, it's undervalued now. Okay, but it's still going to be undervalued because nobody fucking wants the stock. That's what I keep trying to talk to Luke about, is like, yeah, I get the miners are undervalued, but nobody wants them. They're all in Amazon and Apple. Nobody's buying, silver miners at $5 a share, whatever the hell they're at. But everybody's buying the central banks are buying gold bars, James Bond Goldfinger bars. They're not buying stocks. They're not buying Bitcoins, and they're getting rid of the US dollar. So when you lose demand, as I say, my favorite, if nobody wants this, it's worthless. So if nobody wants this or this, if you don't want it, they have no value, and nobody wants either of these, or the British pound or the Swiss franc, anything not backed by gold. People, because as it starts happening, as the BRICS come out with the gold-backed currency and the dollar collapses, people in Switzerland dump, Britain dump, Canada dump, the euro dump. They all dump their dollars because they realize, well, shit, if the US is worthless, so is mine. And then the mad run to gold goes. But then how do we value gold? We value it now in US dollars. We can't do that when the dollar goes to zero. And that's when gold really takes off, because it doesn't need to be valued in dollars. It's its own money. It's its own worth. It'll be valued in whatever currency it is. And that's the difference. That's the bottom line, Mr. Stone Cold. The gold itself will be worth so much more, because the dollar and all these games that COMEX plays, like, they think we're all fucking idiots. Most people don't understand. So most people are in the dark going, why is gold 2000? If they even ask that. Like I said, I had an interview and I said to the guy, this is the finance manager, do you know why gold's at 2000? He says, no. And I was this close, seriously, to getting up and walking out going, you're too stupid to work for. How do you not, as an analyst, as a finance person, not ask that question and not know that answer? I was embarrassed for him that he was this stupid. So how could I work for a guy who's so stupid? And I have a problem with that. So I told him it's price fixed. And he had no idea. I'm sure he didn't buy any. And I'm sure he'll remember me when gold hits 10,000 an ounce. So if BRICS is going to go 3,500 an ounce on gold, does that mean gold can't go over 3,500? No, it just means the dollar's pegged to each dollar's worth 3,500. But gold itself is priced differently and demanded differently. And when the flood comes into gold for all these other Western countries, when their dollar collapses to buy gold, because the rich people will want it, the millionaires, the billionaires, they'll realize that they got a bunch of monopoly money and they'll want to buy gold, and it'll be very expensive, and that'll shoot the price to 10,000, 15,000. So I don't know what BRICS does, but I don't know why they say $3,500 when there won't be a dollar price. Now, I think there will still be a dollar for the mafia when they sell their drugs, and these casinos who need money because they don't want tracing. They don't want you to use credit cards there. That's why there's ATMs at the casinos. They want it all hidden. They don't want you to know how much. and especially the mafia for the drugs. They don't want, use your CBDC or your credit card to buy our drugs. No, they're not going to have that happen. So there'll always be money. So I wouldn't worry about, it might be digital, but there'll still be money. How you get paid, I don't know if there'll be an option. I assume you'll still get paid in money. The question will be what it's worth. The money is the medium of exchange. It's what people pay you to work, and it's what you use to buy things. And that system will not change and will not collapse. It's the perfect system. But you can't fuck with the medium of exchange itself. You can't print what you're using as the medium of exchange to zero. Now you can introduce CBDCs or Bitcoin, but you can't change the system. The system is perfect. I go to work, I get paid, I pay my bills, I go buy gold, I go on vacation with that money. So the medium of exchange is what everybody wants, which is gold. So I assume gold will become the medium of exchange, and everybody will have a much better life than the crap we have now. I'll tell you, I'm so sick of all these political commercials. If I see another Camel Harris commercial, I'm going to throw up. Oh, I'm for the middle class. Well, for 4 years, you've been a communist. You are a communist. That's communist talk. What do you mean the middle class? And then they got to tax the rich. No, you shouldn't tax the rich. You shouldn't tax anybody. Nobody should pay income tax. It's totally illegal. And then we'd all be better off if we run the market instead of the government. The government can't run the market. They're all corrupt. It's a joke. It's a nightmare. It's a joke. And this is how the Romans felt at the end, that, oh, fuck, we took the gold out of the money, and we took the silver out of the money, and now we have no money. And, oh, we're collapsing. The Ottomans are here knocking at our door going, we're taking you over. This is about the size of it. Okay, Prof, good luck today. Go enjoy football. I'll finish up in a couple minutes because I know everybody wants to watch, but that's kind of where we're at. I got to do my college stats, but I do that watching the pros. And that's what's happening. So if there's no demand for the dollar and 159 countries are joining BRICS, that means they're going to use the BRICS dollar and not the US dollar. Means there's no demand. With the $36 trillion debt, the value of the dollar is zero. Nobody wants it. Nobody's going to buy it. We're going to keep buying our own treasuries and pay off our debt. The money will be worthless for two reasons. One, you can't print it to death. And two, if nobody wants it, there's no demand. So in the U.S., we'll be able to buy U.S. goods and service. But if we want to buy goods and services from China or Russia or anywhere outside the country, it'll be a hell of a lot more expensive. So this will be very interesting. Our people are too stupid to deal with it, to have a gold-backed currency. So I don't know. I'm ready to move. This is just ridiculous. Anyway, that's about it. I'll let you guys go to football. I know it's Sunday, and we'll talk economics tomorrow, and certainly gold. And again, it's 2620. It just keeps going. I see probably this week 27, maybe 2,800 by in a week or two. It'll be 3,000 soon, and BRICS wants to supposedly do a $3,500, but again, it doesn't make sense because you can't really tie it to a dollar value of gold. So you need a real value of gold, which the market's going to value, but let's just value gold, but not at a dollar value, not in a US dollar value. So anyway, it's 3,500, but they'll have to devise a way to then price it in whatever current, so I have to say it's 3,500 now. When the dollar crashes, it'll be so much in our currency. So I don't know what our gold will be. Surely it's nice it's going up in dollar terms, but we don't know. And I know how Egon and the Alligator go, it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. Bullshit, you're wrong. It is the dollar going up because gold, it is gold going up. It ain't the dollar going down. It goes up because of demand, fellas. If there's more demand for a Picasso, Picasso goes up. It's worth more because of the demand, not because the dollar's down. If you want to go that way, then why isn't silver rising? Oh, because it's fixed. So is gold. So I don't smell what you're cooking, guys. It is not going up because the dollar's going down, because the dollar's worth nothing now. How can the dollar go down when it's worth zero? It's all gold demand raising the gold price. Wake up, fellas. All right. So good luck. Your free play, Cincinnati. Enjoy. Um, Again, my locks won yesterday. Baylor getting 8.5 from Colorado, and the Kansas State BYU under. And then today, free pick Cincinnati, and I have 3 locks in the pros. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Good luck. www.teaserking.com. You should start coming to this NFL class where I go through all the lines, all the picks, here I give you the lines and the injuries, but I'm not giving you the picks or the locks. For $25, go make some money. So I'm surprised that more people aren't signing up for that, and for college for that matter. So if you signed up for the college class, you'd have had the Baylor lock, you'd have had the Army game, you'd have had the Indiana game, you would have had the under in Kansas State game, all the big games. Just like today, you'd have all the big games that you could bet more on it. So I know you guys all think you can pick, but I am the master. I'm the professor. All right. Well, have a good day. Good luck. www.teaserking.com. All right. Thank you very much.